Hi, this is Ben from FIXITGEARWARE-SECURITY, and today we are here with another episode of the Tools Friday series. In today's episode, which makes it the fourth episode since we started the Tools Friday, we are introducing a powerful operating system, which is known as the CSI-Linux. This operating system is specifically built for forensic investigators, security analysts, and first incident responders. So without wasting much time, let's get straight to today's episode. CSI-Linux. The CSI-Linux is an open source Linux-based distro, also known as the distribution OS, built to aid forensic investigators and cybersecurity professionals alike. Built by CSI-Linux, the tool offers a robust feature that helps forensic investigators conduct any form of digital investigation. The CSI-Linux is built on Ubuntu LTS, which is known as the long-term support. The operating system comes with a list of pre-configured open source tools and other custom tools which aid in case management and evidence collection. Who can use this tool? Penetration testers and bug bounty hunters, intelligence personnel, cyber incident responders, digital forensic analysts, and many other professional fields in cybersecurity. Where do I download this OS? The CSI-Linux can be downloaded from the https://csi-linux.com/CSI-Linux downloads. On installation requirements, we'll be requiring a VirtualBox machine, an 8GB RAM size, and a 20GB storage. Also remember when you head down to the domain that was provided, which is the CSI-Linux platform, to download the operating system, look out for the file that has the CSI-Linux virtual appliance for VirtualBox. That's the exact file we'll be using for this demonstration. So to get started, let's get our machine fired up. So before we get the CSI-Linux installed, we have to do a few configurations. However, if you're working with limited resources, let's say your computer is just a 16GB RAM size, and you have other virtual machines pre-configured, I'll be showing you a trick on how to adjust your memory sizes when a particular machine is not in use. To be able to have more memory to use, we have to adjust the RAM size since we are not currently using these machines, this FIXITGEARWARE-SECURITY 1 and FIXITGEARWARE-SECURITY. The reason is that when the host system allocates a portion of its RAM to the installed machine on the VirtualBox, the RAM allocated wouldn't be available for the host anymore. So basically, this RAM we've allocated for these machines that we installed here will never be available again for the host. And we are running our virtual machine on a 32GB RAM size, which means we have exhausted over 16GB for this and for this. So we'll be readjusting this to be able to create more RAM space for the CSI-Linux. This is a trick that maybe you know or you might not know, but it's advisable to use this trick, especially if you're running in limited resources. As it helps you to practice and not be limited by the configuration or specifications of your computer system. So the easiest trick to manage your RAM size is if you're working with limited resources, as we previously said, in this case, your computer, is to adjust the allocation before installing a new machine. However, before you do this, ensure that the machines are powered off, as they might not be able to be adjusted while they are still running. So let's get started. Here we have the RAM size, otherwise known as the base memory, and here we have allocated 8GB to this operating system, which is the Ubuntu we installed. However, we are not using this right now, so we can always just click here and just toggle this button down. Let's just say 4GB, it's okay. The reason why we allocated down to 4GB should, in case you forget to readjust this button when you power up the machine, at least a 4GB RAM will be able to power up these machines. So it's always careful to know this whenever you adjust those buttons or the memory allocation size on the current machines you're not using. always adjust it back after you're done with your previous installations. And the previous installation machines as well, if they're not in use, you can also toggle back the RAM size to be able to be available for other machines that you're currently using or in current use. So we've brought down this to 4 GB. And we go back to this one. We do the same. Let's bring this to 4 GB. This RAM size will be readjusting them whenever we want to use those machines to fit the criteria or the requirements to power up various applications or penetration testing softwares we installed on these machines. For example, as previously discussed in our video, Nessus is very powerful, and that tool requires at least a minimum of 16 GB RAM pre-installed on a virtual machine. So that being done, we have adjusted this to 4 GB RAM size, and we have done this. So we have a total of 8 GB RAM size running on both machines, giving us an extra 24 GB memory size available in our host machine. So we can still cut out 8 GB RAM size to install the CSI-Linux. So now that we have gotten the RAM adjustment out of the way, the next thing we want to do right now is to get the CSI-Linux installed in our machine. So to do that, we first of all go to CSI-Linux and download the file for the VirtualBox machine. We already downloaded this file, which is about 10 GB in size. Let's see, show options, properties. Yeah, so the file size is about 10 GB. We downloaded this file to be able to install the operating system. So the first thing we want to do is this. We extract the operating system or the VirtualBox machine by double clicking. If you're a fan of WinRAR, or if you use 7-Zip or 7-Breeze, whatever file extraction application you use, you click on it. So it's going to take some time because the file size is very big, and we wait for a while. Usually this is not supposed to take much time. So now we just click on open to see the file. Then the next thing we want to do is click on this and click on extract to. It's going to read our current directory, and we click OK. And this should take about 60 seconds. Okay, while we're waiting for the extraction, we go to our VirtualBox machine and we click on file. We can go to preference to do that, but that is quite like trying to access a lot of structure. You just come here and click new and just copy this. This is our VirtualBox directory. This is what we'll be copying the extracted file for the CSI-Linux into our machine. So what we do is we click on a new notepad. We click this here. So while we're waiting for the extraction, this is what we need to do. We come here, we copy this file path. Already it's here, but it's simple. You just come to you just open a new tab and you close all these things. We don't need to show all this. Then you paste and you hit the enter. So this is going to show us all the virtual machines installed in our VirtualBox. So we are copying this directory here, and this is where we're going to install the CSI-Linux from. So we go back to the extracted file. We just come here, we cut this file. The reason is that we do not want to have duplicates, and we paste here. So the next thing we want to do is we do something very simple. Just rename this directory, show more options, rename FIXITGEARWARE-SECURITY, FIXITGEARWARE-Forensic. Then we open the directory and we go to CSI-Linux and we click on this. Now it's going to pop up our VirtualBox machine, and this is a description. And as you can see, automatically it has created a base memory of 8 GB, telling you this is what the machine requires to get installed. And what else? So after we are done, the next thing we want to do is just click on start. This shouldn't take much time. We can always rename this later. So we can Just hold on for a while. Wow, the machine is getting powered up to install. Quite a very nice interface, giving you the hacker feeling. Okay, so now we have installed this. Let's check for the username and password. Okay. Okay, so there's no username and password, but the last time I checked, I think it's CSI. So let's try and see if we're right. We type CSI. Oh, okay. So we got the right, that's the right username and password. So the password and username is CSI. So as you can see, with this easy steps, we have gotten the CSI-Linux installed. And here you can see, this is where you can create a screenshot of your desktop. And we can see, okay, screenshot, active window, click, let's say 1 second, click OK. Good. And as you can see, the screenshot is taken. Another thing about the CSI-Linux is these are cases. The case folder created for you. Here you can put in your case files whenever you're conducting an investigation. And what else? Here it's the files that are necessary for the CSI-Linux to run. Here is your desktop. Here is the trash. The design is like the Windows icon. Here are the downloads folder. Whatever you download is going to be in this directory. Here is the case folder. Here you can always create your case and store them here. For documents, here we have a few documents for your help. Here, this is, okay, let's click on this. So you can see a few informations, and probably this might be a media file. And you can see these are all files of the legislator or the legislative stream that occurred. You can view these files. Let's close it. Okay, let's do something else. Here we can do a configuration, turn on your webcam. Be sure that your webcam is off. You do not want your webcam to be on and someone is spying on you. Yeah, it's color palettes where you can change the color palettes. And here it's for your screen if you're trying to do some recording. Okay, about the tools. So here we have tools, various tools for CSI-Linux. A lot of things have changed about since the last time I used this distro. So you can see here, you can see start a case for API services investigation, for API management, Tor VPN, the dark web. Okay, let's click on the dark web investigation. And here you can enter the case and just create a case. Let's say dark web 1. And we click OK. And we have to use Tor. And we say search for Tor searches, search for. Okay, let's click search for Tor searches. Fraud. And now you can see OK. And as you can see, it's processing a lot of files here and it's searching for information about that. So while this is still running, we can still come here again and check other tools. So OSINT tools by CSI-Linux is one awesome tool. It has for domain OSINT. You can use for recon, especially for pen testers or bug bounty hunters. You can always use this. you can search for, let's say, a specific domain. And you know the Go Burster, we have the Go Burster here. So CSI-Linux offers a lot of awesome tools. You have to understand how to use these tools. And okay, for instance, let's say something. Here we have the geolocator. Okay, let's use this geolocator. We can call the case to be celebrity. We click OK. To be able to use this right now, we have to provide the showdown API key to be able to use the registered geolocation. And if we want this, we have to put the wiggle API key. And this, we can also use the wiggle.net. This is where you get the API key to be able to use the services. So basically, this is part of what the CSI-Linux is for. You can do a lot of things with this. It's quite a very, very good tool. So let's go to mobile forensics as well. You can say, okay, WhatsApp, they provide for WhatsApp up to this version. And let's check for iOS logical imager. So for CSI, we just put CSI. Oh, CSI in small letters. Good. Now enter the case name, mobile phone fraud, and we click OK. Plug in the phone and click yes when it is connected. So basically, when we plug in the phone right now, I would never be plugging my phone because I do not have any phone to demonstrate this right now. But once I plug the phone and we click yes, the phone will be analyzed. Information about the device and every other thing that was scanned about the device will be displayed here. And from there, you can move on to do further investigation about the device. We close this. So this is part of what the CSI-Linux is all about. It's just basically for forensics. Everything that has to do with forensics. Here you can see online investigation. We have for the phone number. The last time I checked, phone info girl is not working, but maybe they have modified it. You can also use a VPN with CSI-Linux. So you can, if you want to access the internet and you want to mask your IP for your own safety, you just click on this and you put CSI in small letters and you click OK. By default is this, you just click OK. Then you click on. So we just hold on for a while. So especially if you're surfing the dark web or the dark internet, it's always advisable to mask your IP address. So let's power up Chrome. And we can click this and we just can also see the Tor icon is popping up here. So let's type google.com. So as you can see, our IP address is masked, and that's the reason why Google is giving us, sorry, this cannot continue. We're waiting. You can also do this IP to location. IP to location.com. Let's see if we can determine our IP. So we can click I'm not a robot. It takes some time. Crosswalk, we verify this, we verify this, we verify that. And we click, is there any crosswalk? No. Then we click verify. Okay, this one. And now if you see our IP, let's see, it's still loading our IP. So we'll wait for a while. And you can see this is our IP right now, but this is not my actual IP. We're behind the Tor network. And as you can see, this is the provider. It's a Tor exit node. What else? The coordinates, the station. Where's the country? Okay, good. We're in Paris. We're in France right now. However, currently I'm not in Paris. But as you can see, the Tor VPN has taken over the entire system. And this is a very powerful tool. I mean, this is one of the best things I believe CSI-Linux has done to safeguard users from the public internet. And what else? Still crosswork. Still waiting for Google. Just a minute. Okay, that's all. Let's verify. Okay, Google is taking a lot of time. So basically, as you can see, everything is safe here. You can see we're in France. The country right now we're in France. I'm currently not in France. So this is one of the benefits of using the Tor VPN provided by CSI-Linux. So how do we close this VPN? It's something that has to be looked out for. So here we can check the system processes running and we can optimize. So as you can see, currently we're only using 1.2 gigabyte of the total 8 gigabyte memory and over 25 gigabyte of the 50 gigabyte storage allocated by default is in use. So you can also optimize, you can speed up, you can do all these things to like clear cache, application logs, application cache. So there's quite a lot of deep stuff about CSI-Linux. And you can click quit. Here we can also click to check the processes running. As you can see, these are all the processes running on our current machine. And you can see Chrome is open and everything we are running on Chrome. So here it's log when you want to log out and we log in again. And here if you want to power off, here if you want to restart the system, here if you want to power off the system, network, you can see VPN connections. We can also add a default VPN connection. Okay, let's see Tor. CSI-Linux tools. Okay. Now we want to turn it off. We can just say click this and turn off, and will probably be turned off. So that's how to use the CSI-Linux Tor VPN. You want to turn it on, you just go here, you come to CSI-Linux tools, you click on CSI Tor VPN, you provide your password, which is by default CSI in all small letters or lower caps. Then you accept this ENP-OS3, you click OK, then you click turn on, you click this, and you wait for a minute, 2. And once it's turned on, we can now see the Tor icon telling us this is active. And if we go back again and refresh, now our IP location should change because Tor network is not using a dedicated IP. Probably right now we should be in Germany or somewhere else. Okay, we're now in Minnesota and you can see the city of Earhart and country is United States. So once you're done using the CSI-Linux store, you come to CSI-Linux tools, you come to CSI Tor VPN, you enter the password CSI all in lower caps or small letters, and you click OK. You select the network, you click on Tor off, and you click OK. And within a few seconds, the Tor icon should go off. Other tools that you can find in the CSI-Linux also includes Autopsy. This is to image a DIX file. Here you can see, start a new case. So you can image a USB drive and also view the files with Autopsy if you're familiar with Autopsy tool. The other tools that CSI-Linux offers is the Network Miner. With the Network Miner, you can add a host. You can sort by IP address. You can sort by MAC address. You can sort by packet sent and packet received, number of open TCP ports. So you can say sort and refresh. So let's say you have a file, the extension for Wireshark packet files, and we can do file, open file. Let's say we have captured a list of packet files from using Wireshark on a network, and we save the packet files on our system. Now we just click here, open, and we find the pickup file and load it. As you can see, it captures pickup.cap. So basically, these are file extensions for Wireshark network files that were captured or scanned. But let's say you just want to do this directly. You just come here, click on file. You see receive pickup over IP. Then you connect this. You specify the IP. You specify the port number. So let's say basically you're trying to scan for TCP ports. You specify this. You can decide to use SSL. So SSL is like TLS to ensure the packets are encrypted. For timing out, you can set it to 60 seconds or less. Then you click on start receiving. So basically, this is another way you can do this directly. You just want to scan directly into your PC that is on that network. And what the next thing you have to do is just specify the IP address here. You specify the port number, how many seconds before the connection tries to time out. Then you click on start receiving. So basically any communication going in between that network, you'll be receiving the packets files from that network. So this is the network miner, and it's currently the version 2.7.3. It's a very good tool. What else we have? I think this should be GHydra. They have a cheat sheet. You can always check it out. And this one looks like Mona Lisa. So it's the ADA freeware. So this is like disassembler. You have a software. You can disassemble this using either. This tool also is for bulk extractor. So you want to extract evidence in bulks, you can use this tool. This one is Hunchly. So let's say you have a domain name you want to capture evidence, you can use Hunchly. Then Multigo, everybody knows about Multigo. Let's say you want to scan through an organization network, the email addresses and so on. You can use Multigo. But you can just check out these awesome tools that is provided by CSI-Linux. This is KeyPassXC. So you can save your password here, but I don't advise you to do so. It's LibreOffice for a text editor, and this is the terminal. So you can always do some nice stuff here. Let's say, okay, ping tesla.com. So it also has a very nice interface or terminal for you to use. So this is the tool, CSI tool, which we have demonstrated. So this is a write blocker for those who are into collecting evidence. For example, when you try to image an evidence, right? If there is a malware, it can alter the file in that in the image captured. So what write blocker does is basically you can only copy into the hard disk, but you cannot copy out to it. So you cannot try to adjust or do any changes to it. So for example, you can see here, say welcome to the CSI write blocker. This application allows you to write block new external drive by locking on the turn write blocker on new features. The color coding is red that are not write blocked read and write, and green for drives that are write blocked read only. So basically, like it was discussed earlier on, when you turn on the write blocker, means you can only read the file. You cannot modify or do anything in the file. So first responders are always using this to collect evidence and as a way of preserving the evidence. So you can only read the file, but you cannot write to it, because let's say an evidence has been captured, right? And someone finds out that this evidence can put them into the red scene or put them into a list of targeted individuals or suspects that have committed a crime that was being investigated. They can decide to alter the file. But once the write block is turned on, even when they have access to these files, they can only see it, but they cannot be able to make changes to that file. So this is the essence of write blocker. And we can close this and start a case. Yeah, you can decide case management, system management, through traffic, cryptocurrencies. So you can just navigate through this OS and try the tools. There are quite a lot of tools. In our subsequent videos, we'll be demonstrating those tools. We'll take our time to demonstrate each of those tools and how they work, how to exploit, and how to use these tools. So that's all for this week. We have come to an end of today's episode. Please do not forget to give the likes by pressing the thumbs up button, subscribe by tapping that subscribe button, while ensuring the notification bell is turned on to be the first to get notified when we post a new topic. Thanks for watching, and see you next week on another episode of Tools Friday with FIXITGEARWARE-SECURITY. Bye.